freedom is the right to tell what they do not want to hear. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Tired of the same repetitive government narratives? Then wave goodbye to the distractions and rhetoric of corporate media. For this is Anti-Media Radio.
But I want to get the language right. The big government is in trouble.
You're all a bunch of slaves! Bunch of slaves!
What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another.
What's your definition of media?
And now, here's your host, S.M. Gibson.
Don't love in speech, but in action. It is June the 2nd, 2016. My name is S.M. Gibson, and this is Anti-Media Radio. Make sure to listen to us live every Tuesday and Thursday night at ucy.tv/TAMR at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And Nick Burnaby is on Monday and Wednesday at 11 p.m. and 8 p.m. Pacific. Let me tell you something. Who do you hold yourself accountable to? Look at these elections. Look what's going on. Let's look at somebody like Hillary, Miss Rodham Clinton. Who does she hold herself accountable to? Does she kiss up to the American people? Is that who she needs in her corner? Or does she have somebody wielding a little bit more influence backing her? Look at somebody like Bernie Sanders. I'm not a fan of Bernie Sanders. I'm not here to tell you to vote for Bernie Sanders. I think Bernie Sanders would bankrupt this country in 6 months if his policies were enacted. Given the current state of this country, you know, maybe in 30 years, once I get things worked out, maybe that stuff would work, but we're not there now. But at least Bernie Sanders looks to the people for support. He looks to the people and says, you're frustrated. Even Donald Trump looks to the people and says, you're frustrated. And that's what is going on in the United States now, except we have people like Hillary Clinton that are pretending. We have the Bill Cristols. We have the entire establishment looking down and laughing at us because we've been played for fools for so long. But as Jeremiah Wright would say, the chickens are coming home to roost. And you know, it's not in some sort of violent reaction, because that's what they want. Because if you do that, they're going to win. They're going to win that fight. But when it comes to ideas, when it comes to passion, when it comes to the truth, they don't have that. The people have that. You have that. It's within all of us to go out every day and preach the truth. I tell you what, I'm going to go home right now and bring on our wonderful sound director, Mr. Shannon Madden.
Yeah, it's not a real title. You know that, right?
It is now.
Sound director is not a real title.
Yeah, it is.
You can't just make a title up like that.
I have made up everything I've ever done in my life. Why can't I?
Yeah, let's do a radio show. Why not? How are you tonight, Mr.
Doing
Gibson?
good. I can't complain. But I'll tell you what, you know, I was thinking about that earlier. I was having a conversation with my dad, and he was talking about that. And he don't like Bernie Sanders at all, but he was like, think about Hillary. He's like, at least Bernie answers to the people. And at least he placates to the people. Like, she don't even pretend.
Oh, no. Come on now, Daddy. Daddy placates to the people.
Well, that's true, but Hillary don't even pretend to do that.
You want to build a wall? We'll build a wall.
Hers
you want to
is-
get rid of all these Mexicans? We'll get rid of the Mexicans. Why not? Daddy's here for you.
Well, Trump's playing that game
you want
too.
to see them 28 pages?
Hey, I got them. I got them.
There's
You want them, I
candy.
got them.
There's candy in this band. Just come on in.
Yeah.
We're just gonna drive up the street real quick.
Yeah, but at least
Talk about
at
some
least he's talking to the people. Like, at least Bernie's talking to the people. At least both of them, for whatever they are addressing the American people. Hillary Clinton's like, what? What are you talking about?
Hillary-
Speeches? I don't know what you're talking about.
Hillary
Emails?
lives-
I don't know what you're talking about. Murders? I don't know what you're talking about.
Hillary's talking to the
Feminism? I'm
people.
all for that.
Hillary's talking to the people. It's just in private emails.
Right, yeah.
And in speeches, we don't know anything
Like,
about.
that woman's
Yeah.
a fool. Like, you know how I feel. I'm not going to go out and vote for any of those idiots. But how anybody, what brain cells functioning to go, I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton? Like, I at least get
But
Bernie.
don't you see all those
I
votes
get
she's got in the primaries?
None of those are real. None of those are real. I told you this.
I'm sure a few of them are.
None of that's real. I told you on last Tuesday's program about how I was trolling Hillary Clinton's Twitter for two reasons, but promotion and amusement. And the thing is the only people that respond positive to those, you would get huge reactions from the post, and they were all in favor. The only negative, like, Hillary's great, they were all fake. They were all bots. Like, it was all fake Twitter accounts. Like, that's what Hillary Clinton has. None of it's real. Like, none of it's real. It's all bought and paid for. And she's still not going to win. Like, at all. Not even close.
It's funny to me, that sentence that you uttered to start that. 20 years ago, that would have meant something like completely different, or somebody just would have took it completely out of context. You were trolling Hillary's Twitter. I'm just saying. You think about that. Somebody, you said that 20 years ago to somebody, they would have just fell out. Well, you did what?
Well played.
Tell me I can't. I'll find a way.
Well played.
Oh,
But at the same time, I mean, look at her husband. Who does not believe that Bill Clinton is just a scumbag sexual deviant? Who doesn't think that? Mm-hmm. Also, in the same conversation I was having with my dad, I didn't hear it, but he was listening to whoever Sean Hannity had on the day, and again, I didn't hear it. But it was I'll have to look it up. The woman that claimed to have the 20-year affair with
Jennifer Flowers.
No.
There's so many to keep up with.
It's a different one. But she was with him before Hillary.
Oh.
And she's the one that says that Bill claims to have had sex with 2,000 women. That's where that number comes from. It's 10% of what Wilt Chamberlain had.
Yeah.
Because I don't even believe it. I don't think I've ever met 20,000 people, by the way. So I don't believe Wilt Chamberlain accomplished that. But if he did, whatever.
Oh, come on, man. Think about it. He had a long, illustrious career in the NBA.
You go to a lot of towns, I guess.
He played hard.
But I tell you what, Bill Clinton is a scumbag sexual deviant. We know it. Like, we know that for a fact. Just given what we know. The moment I realized as an adult, because I want to say, when the Lewinsky thing happened, I was about 16.
That would have been 1998, I believe.
I was about 16.
98, 99, yeah.
And to me, Monica Lewinsky was whatever she was, 20 years old at the time. But that was older to me. And it didn't, that concept, it was just like, okay, she works at the White House. Like, that's an adult working at the White House, and I'm in high school. It didn't register. The age difference there wasn't that big of a gap. But now in hindsight, as an adult, I look back and go, wow, he was president of the United States. And this girl was like 20. She was a child. Like, she was a child.
Well, now.
Like,
come on.
that's, you know what I'm saying?
Now, at the same time, let's go ahead and differentiate the two. Now Bill Clinton was a married man, and that never seemed to bother him before. But this was
That's
this
a business
was,
partnership. Let's call that what
regardless
that is.
of the end result, it was a consensual encounter. Let's strictly focus on the non-consensual encounters. And there's a growing number of them. All you have to do is Google Bill Clinton rape, and there's so much crap shows up. It's not even funny. It's horrible. Story after story after story. And of course, we heard the one here on this broadcast, and I mean, it's just
Hey, and I tell you too, Jeffrey Epstein. For anybody that wants to jump down that rabbit hole, that's fun, and that's meant in the most sarcastic of terms.
Yeah.
That's the most sarcastic of terms when I say that, because it's disgusting is not the word. And he got off with a slap on the wrist, getting like a 13-month sentence. Like, and that's just evil. I'm not going to get into the stories with Epstein, but if you want to look that up, if you've got the stomach for it, just understand what you're getting into. If you look up Jeffrey Epstein's crimes,
and it's these are the people that again, these are the people that are running the show. These are the people that everybody's crowding around. And please save us from this evil Trump. And please save us from this from the ISIS. And please save us from this person. And save us from.
Well,
this
it's
faction.
all a new fear. Everything's
and all
new
of this
fear.
division that's been built into it. And Hillary's there with open arms, ready to accept you and receive you. And don't worry, we're going to kill this evil man.
But that's that's an optical illusion. Hillary was never real.
That's the rhetoric that I've heard from the scant few actual Hillary supporters that have shown up. That people that I know my own person.
Yeah, it really is. The whole thing's just so weird.
And then on the other side of the fence, we have, Trump and his grandiose, whatever that is, xenophobic, just playing on people's fears, just completely playing on. And really, that's the common denominator between both of these candidates. Is both of their platforms are built strictly on fear, and it's fear of the known and fear versus fear of the unknown, with both of them. Because we don't know what we're ultimately going to get with Trump. We've talked about that openly on the show. He could go in there and keep trying to play the same character that he's played. I don't think he'll do it. I think he'll get in there, the door's going to close, and he's going to do exactly as he's told. If you want to stay on this little TV show for 4 years and not get canceled, kind of the same way Kennedy got canceled.
I don't know if that's the thing about Donald Trump is there's so much mixed emotion, and I get it. Like, I get the people that support it, even from a policy point of view, at least with the foreign policy kind of stuff. My thing is, this is, to me, the bottom line. This is what I know about Donald Trump, okay? Really, because he has no record. He has nothing to base it on. He's just been talking and promoting himself for 30 years. Mm-hmm. So what I know about Donald Trump is this, and this is the only facts I can tell you. Donald Trump is running for president, and Donald Trump is lying to everybody. Mm-hmm. And I know he's lying to everybody because you can go back and listen to a Ron Paul interview from 30 years ago, and you can listen to a Ron Paul interview from 30 minutes ago, and you're going to hear the exact same sentiment. You're going to hear the exact same message. You can't go listen to a Donald Trump speech from 30 days ago and get the same message that he said 30 minutes ago. So I know that he's lying because he waffles so much. And that's not even getting to that's a whole nother conversation. I won't go there right now. But
well, do you think for a moment that, again, if Trump is really like this behind the scenes, and he's actually, quote unquote, elected president, because we all know what a joke the election's has become now. If he's really like this behind the scenes, do you think that the establishment will allow him to become president? Because we already know what we're getting
I
with
think
Hillary. Hillary's a company man. Come on now.
See, and that's the thing. There is the unknown with Trump. There's such a huge part of me that thinks he's company, and there's such a huge part of me that thinks maybe it's just his ego driving him, and it's not. It's that whole gray unknown. But I think, regardless whether it's real or it's not, he will try to make the illusion that it is company, on the inside at least, because that's what he's a deal maker. He's a deal maker. And I think he's playing both sides. He's playing the American people for the same thing right now. And maybe he's doing this all for his own advantage. And he is playing against the system, and he's playing against the American people for his own glory. Whatever it is, I don't know. But I know he's lying. I think he's lying to everybody other than himself. I think he knows what he's doing. Like, I don't think he's crazy, but I don't think he's unhinged like people think. I think it's very precise.
I don't know about very precise.
I do.
Now.
I do very much so precise. I think he's very aware and calculated. His strategy is needlework.
I don't know.
It's scary.
What you're referring to is cunning, and there's no candidate in American history more cunning than Miss Hillary Clinton. Come on now.
Hillary Clinton's not cunning at all. She's an evil witch, and we all know that.
She's cunning. Come on, man. Let's
She's
call
shrewd. There's a difference.
All right. Then define the difference.
Okay, Bill and Donald Trump were cunning because it was kind of there's charm the entire time you did it. Like there was a wink and a smile. You know what? It's okay. You know what I'm doing, and you know it's a lie, but you like me, and I'm not going to hurt you. You know it's bad, but it's okay. And people are okay with it. With her, there's none of that charming hospitality, whether it's New York or it's Arkansas. She has none of it. There's no charming to her. It's just crass, in your face, cackling. That's Hillary Clinton.
She does. She definitely does have a resting bitch face. There's no two ways around.
Oh, that's the least of her problem.
I mean, I don't. Some folks they say are born with that.
Well, no. What? That's the least of her problems by far. By far.
Resting bitch face is the least of Hillary's problems.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, I just, what? I don't know how you think she's going to win. I think that's insane.
Well, then again, the one that I really thought was going to take the steal the whole show has been long gone. That was old Jeb Bush. I thought that
low energy.
America was stupid, but I didn't realize that they were, stupid enough to put another Bush in office. But I didn't think that they were stupid to this level.
To put the first Trump in office.
Two choices that we have right now, Trump and Clinton.
Well, Trump's going to win because for lots of reasons, but it's almost like the establishment somebody went out of their way to find the one person. Like they do this every time. Like who's the one person that our candidate can beat? Because George W. in 2004, I don't think there's many people that he could have beat. But they went really out of their way to get John Kerry. Like people think John Kerry's just respected, whatever. That's foolishness because that guy's an idiot. Mm-hmm. He's a clown. Like he's clown shoes walking around. And
who's worse, Kerry or McCain?
They're different. That's two different.
They're
things.
different, but they're different. But at the same time, as far as who's absolutely just a worse of a politician or /
I would rather be in the room with John McCain. I would rather be in the room with Kerry. I would rather be in the room with Kerry.
McCain's cut from the same cloth that Bush Jr. was. Most definitely.
W was an idiot. He didn't know what was going on. I don't think. I think it was Dick Cheney was evil, Rumsfeld was evil, and his daddy was probably evil. But W was just, I think, hanging out.
Just in there playing with Legos.
Yeah. That's, I think, what that was. As much as I would love to paint George W. Bush as the devil And maybe he was. Maybe he tricked us all. But I just see a guy, like you said, sitting there with his Lincoln logs out as everybody else.
Got the Super Tecmo Bowl on the NES. Come on in here and play this real quick.
Yeah. Hey, somebody send one of the Secret Service guards in there with George.
Yeah, I get to beat the Oakland Raiders this time. Yeah.
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson is awesome in that game.
Mm-hmm. So, that's kind of my thoughts on W. He kind of is what he is. He's just...
I miss old W. Where's he at these days? What's he doing these days?
I don't know, hanging out with some Saudis, beheading people. Not sure. Whatever they do.
That's a clean swipe there, buddy. Yeah.
Whatever they're up to in Crawford.
Man, I don't know. Did he go back to Texas? Is he still in Texas?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't think he's left. I think he's still there.
You can take the president out of Texas, but...
Oh, whatever on that. Either way, Hillary's not going to be... Like, how do you still think she's going to be president?
Because the establishment wants her to be president. Corporate money is still flowing.
You're an idiot.
A huge,
Why do you
massive
think
tide.
that?
Why do I think that? Why do I think that corporate money is flowing toward her?
I know corporate money's flowing
to this very moment.
I understand that. We have a story up right now.
Don't you understand how voting works in this country?
I
it
get
doesn't.
that. Listen, no. Wait.
That's how she's made it as far as she has now. Come on, man. This thing has been rigged since moment one. Where have you been?
We have a story up right now on the antimedia.org. CEOs overwhelmingly support one presidential candidate in 2016. And you know what? You would think it would be Trump, but guess what? It's not. It's Hillary.
Hillary.
That doesn't mean Hillary's going to win because she's not.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're talking about an actual general election where we count real, honest-to-God votes, yeah,
she would have been lost.
You're probably
right.
Well,
she'd be getting beat right now.
Yeah, she would. Sanders would have already kicked her under the door a long time
ago.
Yeah, but that's not how this election's going, my friend. Where have you been? The whole thing is rigged from the bottom up.
Well, sure it is.
Everybody can go out. Y'all can have your big parties, and everybody go out in big groups and go vote and take pictures, and the pictures of the little sticker you get, the I voted sticker. Everybody loves those so much. Those are so cute, and you look like responsible citizens when you put them on. But I'm gonna tell you what, right now, your vote does not matter. Bernie supporters, somebody call in. Help me here, please, because we all know, and we've said this openly. You've said it, Claire said it, I've said it, that nobody on Facebook, nobody on any social media is bringing Hillary up or actually discussing her as a legitimate choice for president of the United States. It just ain't happening. All of the massive wave of Bernie supporters all over my Facebook, all of the massive wave of Trump supporters, all of the massive wave. I didn't hear anything about Bush. I didn't hear anything about Rubio. I didn't hear anything about Cruz. It was all about Trump and Bernie. And no mention whatsoever of Hillary. Every once in a blue moon, you might bring her name up and somebody will put some little snarky comment. Oh, okay, there's one. There's a real honest-to-God Hillary supporter. Few and far between.
Oh, yeah, they're not real.
Now, are we assuming that all the people that are voting for Hillary are not on the internet?
No, they don't. Well, there is some of that, I think, because they're older. I think the few supporters she probably does have, like if you get away from, there is somebody voting for her.
Well, you remember that rally?
It's older people that aren't on there.
Well, you remember the rally she had, about 3 or 4 weeks ago where 40,000 people showed up? Oh, that's right. That didn't happen.
Oh, yeah. Right. Well, what was it? There was a rally in California, I think, over the past week. And Bernie has, that's the thing. I live in reality. And I don't have to support Bernie Sanders to go, clearly Bernie Sanders is destroying her.
Yeah.
And
yet, let's get that.
His rallies have thousands and thousands of people.
But we'll get the delegate total, and everybody is pointed to the super delegates. Let's take them out of the
equation. And her
rallies
she's have
still beating him.
Dozens and dozens of people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Except those dozens and dozens and dozens of people that she has at her rallies have way bigger bank accounts than all the thousands at the Bernie rallies combined. And that is why Hillary Clinton will be the Democratic nominee, unless, of course, she decides to wise up and get out before it all comes falling down on her. Because if she gets in that general election and starts running against Donald Trump, she has set up her and her husband to be finally destroyed in the eyes of the public. It's gonna happen if she puts herself in that position.
Yeah, and I don't see the two of them debating each other. I don't see an open debate on this one. I just don't.
There's nothing she can say. There's nothing she can say.
Her best move right now. It's kind of like when you go to court. It's kind of like when you go to court. That's the first thing your lawyer tells you. If you ever, unfortunately, it's an American pastime now. You will find yourself in court at some point in time with an attorney, and your attorney will tell you the first thing. Your best option here is not to say a damn word.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the previous election. They found the one person that he could just beat. No doubt. Anybody could beat her. Nobody wants her to be president. Everybody hates her. I have to keep reiterating this. A 74-year-old socialist is destroying her right now. And they're not jumping. Everybody thinks that the country's moving left. And yeah, maybe it is to a degree. I'm not going to say it's not, because there is a spoiled culture in this country. And I think there's a very out-of-touch culture in this country, because they think what happens in Denmark, which is the size of Alabama, is going to happen in a country of 350 million people. They're idiots, but that's a different conversation.
What are the delegate totals again? I'm sorry, I lost track of that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That's exactly right. The vote does not matter. That's why Hillary Clinton's already declared herself the winner.
Well, she was declared the winner, I think, in 2008, the weekend she dropped out. Or the weekend before she dropped out, I think it was established that she was going to be the next nominee. And she was probably told at that time that she was going to be the next president. With that being said, I think she walked out of the room and they said, that's never going to happen, but we'll just let her think what she wants to.
And here we are in 2016, today. Corporate money is awash.
She's not going to be president. Campaign. You're crazy.
Well, and again, because you're still assuming that this is a legitimate vote.
No, I understand that it's not a legitimate vote. Completely.
The establishment does not want Trump.
Nope, wrong.
Man, why do you think that?
That's what they want you to think, man. Well, that's the kind of old joke, ain't it? That's what they want you to think, man.
Well, but at the same time,
that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just throw that blanket statement out there. Why do you believe that's the case?
Trump can make deals, and look.
Are you fucking serious? Really?
No, wait.
You did it.
No, I know I know how that sounds.
Wow.
No, listen. I know how that sounds. Wait. I don't mean that in a positive direction. Let me explain. You can calm yourself down. Here's the thing. Deals with the devil's what it is. I think they're both evil, and I think they'll both shake whatever hand they got to shake. Look at Trump. Yeah, I'll sign whatever thing. I'm not going to support that candidate. I'll sign your sheet of paper. That's what I'm saying. He'll sign their sheet of paper and go, we made a deal. We cut a deal. That's what I'm saying when Trump will cut a deal. That's Trump.
Still keep going back to Israel, Palestine. That I can't wait to see how
I mean that. Like he'll cut a deal. Like that's what he does. And it'll be that, yeah, I'll sign your sheet of paper, whatever you need me to do. And then he'll just turn around and do whatever he wants.
And that's why I believe that the establishment will not let Donald Trump be the president of the United States. The vote does not matter.
No, it doesn't.
It does not matter.
It doesn't.
Bernie supporters, can I get an amen?
I think he's convincing enough to convince them that he's going to be on their page.
Come on, man. Those people are a lot smarter than that.
I don't know, man. This guy, he knows what he's doing. I don't trust him. Don't trust a word that comes out of his mouth.
I know what he's doing, too. And
he knows what he's doing, though, and that's what's scary.
The one thing I would look forward to in a Trump presidency is the First Lady. Wow. What a stunner.
Well, I don't want to live in a world where there's children in an elementary school that Google image the First Lady and get new pictures.
I'm not talking about
I don't want to live in that world.
So if we can't live in that world, then we have to live in the world where the very first husband, is a rapist. Man.
Well, we've already, how many presidents have we had that were? Who knows? We know one was for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We know that one. Say what you want, but if you don't believe that the truth about Bill Clinton, then congratulations. I don't know what you've been smoking, but good luck.
Bill didn't. He didn't know.
Oh, no.
Remember that?
Of course not. Yeah. They never do. And you know what? Look, I want to go ahead and throw this out here, too, in terms of the election. We've got right now 2 stories on the front page of antimedia.org right now. We've got, you just paid for the killing of 15 innocent people in Syria. And the next story on the front page we ran today on antimedia.org is next time someone says nothing is made in the USA anymore, show them this. And the basic premise of that article is there's one thing that's definitely still made in the United States of America, and that is called all the ammunition, all the bombs, all the military-grade equipment, all those wonderful toys, drones, battleships in San Diego that I've seen with my own eyes, witnessed being built. Aircraft carriers, jets. That's all being built here. So there's still something being built in the USA. You're just not seeing it because it's not Donald Trump tied. What it is, it's the noose around the neck of a bunch of innocent people in the Middle East. But you don't see that. You hear terrorism, you hear fear, you hear they're coming to get you. They're not coming to get you. They're going over there to get them and to get it. And what they're trying to get is power. And what they want is not only power, they want that dollar bill, y'all. And you know what? You think, well, they've got enough. That's what greed is. You never have enough. There's never enough. You can always get a little bit more power. And with the power comes the money. It all works hand in hand. But hey, you elected them.
Yeah, but no, we don't elect anybody anymore. Maybe in the local elections, but as far as President of the United States goes, Bernie supporters, man, why isn't anybody calling in? This sucks. I need some feels right now, man.
Oh, the phones aren't working, I don't think.
I need some burn.
I would tell everybody that you can call, and if you are listening to this right now on YouTube, which you can catch all of our replays on YouTube by searching for Anti-Media Radio, catch some of the past episodes with Miss Wadena Broderick, John McAfee, Vermin Spring, Mercutio, bunch of good ones. But anyway, yeah, I don't think phones are working right now.
Oh, boo.
So, but if you want to, call 718-717-8296, and you can do that twice a week on Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern.
And let me go ahead and give you Mr. Gibson's
Pacific.
cell phone number. It's 1-900.
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming to take me away. Well, okay. That's how that's going to roll out. I don't know. And the good thing is that regardless of who's right or wrong in this little will Trump win or will Hillary win debate, we're screwed either way. It's still going to be more business as usual, more of your rights and privileges and freedoms taken away from you one by one by one. It is absolutely ridiculous that we have wound up in this situation and we've let ourselves get here. That's the bad thing about it is, but here's the problem. When I start discussing in online forums or on the job site or just in general conversation, okay, well, what do we do from here? What's your solution? Because everybody knows we're screwed. Some people will admit, a little bit further as far as how screwed we are in areas of, a corporate run government. I mean, we're an oligarchy now.
Well, of course we are.
And that's, I don't know, people have just kind of grown apathetic to it. And when you start talking about, okay, well, what do we do here? There's more of the, okay, well, we go vote. Well, voting's not working. Okay, well, we go protest. Well, protest is not working. All right, we'll go. then we'll take to the streets. Okay. Well, what are we going to do when we take to the streets?
I still believe the powers that be, as arrogant as maybe they are, and maybe that I believe there are.
Maybe.
Well, no, they are, but there's some of them that have convinced themselves there's nothing that can happen to them. Maybe a lot of them have. Maybe that's what's got them in this position they're at, that they have that mentality. But I think some of them live in a world of reality on some level and have some sort of fear. Like I've always heard that about Nixon, that is whatever Nixon was, that he was always concerned about the protesters in front of the White House for whatever reason. Like it was always something that.
Oh, they don't care about protesters.
That's the
now.
thing.
Come
no,
on
but
now.
we're talking about his tapes.
Go send the cops
but I would have
out there to
never
deal
in a
with them.
trillion.
Get them out of my
would have
sight.
never in a trillion years thought that Nixon would have cared about the first protester ever. Would have thought he would even addressed it. Like he would have just scoffed at the idea. But apparently he didn't. And I think that's interesting that somebody like as arrogant and driven as that.
Because Nixon was definitely arrogant and driven. I don't know two ways.
Sure, but that's the whole like, of course these people are different, but they all have some sort of drive to put them in the position that they're in. And I don't think, for the most part, you have a lot of dedicated individuals striving and giving up everything in their life, giving up all their privacy, giving up. They can't go anywhere. They're in prison from that moment on with Secret Service, everything. They're not doing that to help the world. They're doing that to help themselves. And to get off on the power that they get from it. That's the majority of people that are striving to get that job. It's not 100% of the people going after it because nothing's ever 100%, no matter what you're talking about. But the majority, the biggest qualification to become president is to have the God complex. We know that.
And we're definitely dealing with two candidates who have the God complex. Let's have a side bet, all right? If Hillary doesn't make it, does she divorce Bill?
Nope.
You think she'll stick with that old bag of bones?
Yeah, he'll
till
die.
the day he dies.
I don't think he'll be alive much longer. He looks
God,
looks old,
awful,
man. He looks bad.
awful. So all that hard living.
I mean, it could be Parkinson's because he had those symptoms. Maybe so that means he just looks fragile.
More like Budweiser. Come on, man. He's a notorious drinker. Has been for quite some time. There's numerous tales about that red nose of his getting redder. And Bill gets it crazy. He stirs it up.
Well, Bill is what Bill is, but either way, he looks sick. And so, no, I don't think she'll be divorcing him anytime soon. But what do you think about, okay, we talk about what's being made here and these bombs being made here and the next president. We just talk about the 15 civilians. 3 of those were children in Syria. And we talk about our foreign policy and both these candidates. We know what we're going to get with Hillary Clinton. I tell you what, before I go any further, I want to go ahead and throw this out, and I want you to react to this, Shannon, and tell me what you think. I think when we talk of these terms of Hillary, Bill, Trump, it's not so much the individual person you're speaking to. I think there's a mindset behind those names, and those names represent a population, a certain segment of the population. Would you not agree with that, Shannon?
Absolutely.
And so I think, for me, when I say and talk in terms of Hillary and Trump, it's not necessarily talking about the individual candidate, but it's more so talking about the people they represent. Does that make sense? Does that kind of justify a little bit of the nonstop about the election? Because again, this is definitely the biggest election of our lifetime and should be discussed.
And I think it also kind of lends to
fake or not.
It lends to a lot of the attitudes and a lot of the angers and a lot of the feels that have gone into this election, probably more so than any other that I can remember in my life. there's some hardcore feels out there, man. It's bad.
2008 was real.
Jimmy's getting rustled.
Bad. You couldn't say
and
anything
right.
negative about Obama in 2008.
No, man.
It was scary. The passion they had for it. Like, it was very, very hypnotic kind of brainwashing. The same thing you're seeing with Trump, except on you're seeing a complete different segment of the population get that brainwashed glazed look over their face, but they're getting that same brainwashed glazed look. Except in 2008, it was the liberals, the progressives, that kind of delusion. And then you got the whole we're gonna and don't have a clue what they're talking about either. Following Trump. Mm-hmm. So it's, same, different side of the same coin. So.
Feels.
I guess it's feels.
All them feels, man. Jimmy's getting rustled.
Yeah, it is. So normally I would say, again, 718-717-8296 is our call-in number. But yeah, it's not working. Trying to get Jules on the phone to work it out on ucy.tv/TAMR. So a little off the path of the election, we're talking about a situation right now. We're talking about Syria. We're talking about Iraq. We've got these bombing northern Syria. This is like civilians in the past 48 hours we're talking about the United States has killed. And then people have the audacity to get worked up over the primate in the zoo. And that's fine. Nobody should be scolded or wrong. That's okay. Like, nobody's saying you shouldn't be upset about that. But to put priority, I think, on an animal at the zoo over, first off, that animal at the zoo, you didn't pay for it to get killed. Like, you didn't pay the money for that to happen. As sad as it is, it's a sad story. But, you didn't pay for it to happen. But you, as an American citizen that pays taxes, you just paid for 3 children and 15 innocent people just walking around to get murdered. And you don't get upset about that. But you get upset about the headline on next to your news feed on Facebook because, oh, God forbid. And look, it's okay. It's okay. It's not like, oh, I can't believe you're upset about that. That's fine. But don't, like, the fact that people put such priority on these memes that go around, these tragic memes is what they are. And we're going to get on the bandwagon for a week. Oh, Cecil the lion, or, the ape in the zoo. I'm sorry those things happen. But guess what? Your tax dollars just paid for 15 people to be murdered for no reason in the past 48 hours. So I'm sorry if I don't get worked up about what Facebook tells me to get worked up about, or TMZ, or I don't know, whatever the Kardashians tell you to think. I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't put priority on that. But people should. They should, because somebody should stand up for that. I understand. But in mass, because I do think it's tragic. I do. I'm not going to say it's not. And I don't want to sound cold, because I'm sure I do. But look, your tax dollars just paid to murder 3 children.
Yeah, That's...
Like, murder 3 children. Like, sorry about the other thing. But, you know what I'm saying?
Acceptable loss, man. That's just kind of the way that works. It's just only several. Could have been a lot more. Those people should have had no right being born in that country. So, if they had been born in another country, they wouldn't have had that problem. So,
look,
America.
And I want to throw this out there too. As much as all of us, look, everybody, there's negativity all around us, and bitch and moan and complain about this, that, and the other. There is a lot of me that's thankful for our situation. It could be worse, and I don't like what our government does, and I don't like what our government represents, and I don't like the things that they carry out in their own name for their own agendas. But we are lucky because, I mean, you look at what's happening in Venezuela right now. You look at what's happening in South America. You look at what's happening in the Middle East. I mean, scary, like tragic. And you know what? A lot of it is South America, not so much. Well, that's in the past, not so true either. But, or even to this day, not so true either. But
come on, get your lie straight now.
Right,
yeah.
I know, whatever
Hillary.
that is. Yeah. I don't think that was a lie. It was just kind of rethinking it for a second and going, oh, yeah, never mind.
We did kind of screw them over, too.
Yeah, exactly. But we are blessed. We're super blessed not to be having bombs rain down on our head. And I'm thankful for that. But at the same time, we need to acknowledge the bombs that are falling down on people's heads. The checks were written with your tax dollars, with your blood, sweat, and tears when you went to work every day. That little chunk of money that came out of your check.
Well, if the government's
that
doing
you
it,
never saw.
They must be doing it for a good reason. Come on now. You know, no, everybody just blindly follows. Nobody asks any questions anymore. And when it gets to the question of what do we do now, how do we prevent this from happening any further, that's when you're met with a blank stare and I don't know. Man.
Americans refuse to ask questions, and that's part of the reason I think of the reason that Donald Trump has had such success, and part of the rise of Donald Trump is because people don't want to ask questions. And Donald Trump is tapping into a frustration that people have, and everybody is frustrated. They're pissed off. They're just like, what is it? You know, they know they've been lied to. They know these politicians lied to them. They know the war was a lie. But they don't want to do any of the hard work. They don't want to go out there and make a difference. They don't want to change anything. But Donald Trump has presented himself, and he has come out there, and he has said, I know that it's all screwed up. I know these people lied to you. I know they did this. Give me the power. Let me change it. Give me control, and I'll get rid of your frustration.
Come on, get in this van. I got some candy waiting
and
for you.
And they say, I am frustrated, and you know what? I do want it to change, but I'm too lazy to do anything about it myself. But he says he's going to fix it, so let's go with him. And that's how people get brainwashed. That's how they get hypnotized, because he said he'll take care of it for us.
Yeah.
What do I care?
It's going to be fabulous.
And then somebody brings up,
it's going to be great.
I'm pretty sure that a 100% chance that he's lying to you. And, well, what's the better option? You want Hillary to be president? Yeah, that's it. That's life. Everything's so black and white. There's always only one good person, and there's always only one bad person. When there's a war in this country, a so-called war, because we haven't declared one since World War II, but there's always a good guy and there's always a bad guy. There's Cobra, and there's the Empire, and there's G.I. Joe and the rebels. Always. That's how it's painted. There's never any gray area for that. If innocents get killed, well, too bad. Who cares? That's just what happens. Because we're trying to keep you safe. Think about that. We're going to go murder millions of people to keep you safe because we love you that much. Oh, we love you. We'll just kill everybody around the world to keep you safe. That's what people believe. Like, they don't think that, like, out loud, but that's what they think, subconsciously, because that's what the government's telling them. Well, it's dangerous over there. They want to hurt us, so if they have to kill everybody over there to keep me safe, that's okay. Good grief.
That's why the bombs aren't dropping on your head. I mean, it's America. America's keeping you safe by going to all of these places stationed throughout the rest of the world.
That's
what
not.
Does that sound like? That sounds familiar.
I mean, I assume things were pretty safe. I don't, I'm sure it wasn't getting too wild in Germany until Russia collapsed on in there from the east. We weren't too far behind. So, people live in their own delusions. They live in their own fantasies. They don't think history can ever repeat itself. Nobody ever thinks it's going to happen to them, no matter what the topic is. It will never happen to me. It will never happen to my generation. That's what people think.
Well, I think the worst
They're such
war.
special, delicate little flowers. We're all just so special.
No, we're really not. America doesn't need to be the greatest in anything. America doesn't need to be the
America's
best
the
in
greatest
anything.
at building bombs and killing people, and I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I hate to be that guy,
That's
but guess
our
what? That
major
is
export.
the truth.
That's our
That
main
is our
export.
major export, and that's sad.
Yep.
It's not freedom and democracy. How in the world can you live in a you look in the mirror, whatever you tell yourself when you're standing in the voting booth that you're going to vote, that you believe for 5 seconds that we're promoting democracy around the world, and Bernie Sanders, who's clearly beating Hillary Clinton, is not even getting kind of any recognition. The voting system is so rigged. Look at what happened to Ron Paul in 2012. We're talking rigged. There is no chance, no shot. They openly admitted to changing rules to keep Ron Paul from getting any kind of traction.
Yeah. Wonder why.
And we're going to go promote democracy when you have the head of the GOP, you have both parties being like, no, we pick the president. We pick it.
Mm-hmm. On record.
On record.
So, again, why is Trump going to be president?
It's going to happen, watch.
But let's put some money
He's
on
not
it.
trustworthy, man.
Oh,
He's
I'm
not
sorry.
trustworthy to the people. He's a snake.
Of course he is. But
That's why he's going to be president.
No. Corporate money, man. Corporate money is what puts him there. Corporate money what keeps him there.
Okay.
Hillary Clinton is corporate money.
She'll
Tell
never-
Donald to tell you that. He's even put some money in
I
on it.
never said she wasn't corporate money. You're never going to hear me say she's not corporate money. Of course she's corporate money. I understand that.
Corporate money is what rules America, my friend.
She's
You know
never
this.
going to be the president.
We talk about this every single show.
Maybe we do, but you're wrong every show, and I'm right every show. I can't help that. You just
know-
like getting
you know-
involved in these cycles and
who's
repeating
not,
this.
You know who's not wrong? D. D is never wrong.
Well,
Whatever happened to his candidacy? Kid needs to grow up a little bit.
Bill already had 8 years in office.
8 year of D's. Well, where's Kevin at? Kevin's really late tonight.
I tell you what, yeah, for those that are missing our other third here, or 33
The
point-
important third.
Yeah, the one with all the information and knowledge, and the one that keeps me from sounding like a complete buffoon most of the time, Kevin Knight. He is unfortunately...
He's probably auditioning for his own show right
He's
now.
out
That's
of
probably
town.
what he's doing.
Yeah,
He's in New York.
auditioning. Hopefully he's coming to overthrow me, and he can have my chair, and I'll just go and do whatever he does.
Tune into Alex Jones and find out that he's...
Well, I can't do it.
He's got a new follow-up show
show. But,
with your host, Kevin Knight.
oh, anyway. Do you see the revolution from around the world? Do you see the uprising? Do you see this kind of fire, this spirit that's generating globally?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it legitimately coming to the United States outside of these very just kind of surface candidates, and we're getting our frustrations out very, it's not real kind of a thing, superficially, getting their frustrations out by getting online and getting angry, and then I'm going to support Bernie or I'm going to support Trump. I showed you, that's kind of where we're at. And there is a frustration in the streets, though. We are seeing protests. I mean, look what happened in San Diego. Look what's happened with the riots in the street with after the Trayvon Martin. I guess the big one was in Baltimore with Freddie Gray.
Coordinated, staged events, all of them.
You
the
don't
thing is-
believe that.
I do.
No, you don't.
At the same time,
You don't believe they were staged?
Ultimately, protests.
They weren't. Oh,
no,
the
I'm
protest?
talking about true, genuine protests.
You mean the protest
is going
and
to
not
end
the
just
event.
like it did in Tiananmen Square, my friend. That's where we're at now. That's what should. That's
no,
what
man. No, you're wrong.
We are under an iron boot.
Genuine protest, you're right about, but you've got to remember that a long time ago, the government figured out if you let the baby go ahead and cry itself to sleep, it'll finally just pass out. And once they're asleep, we can go downstairs and do what we want.
Got to do some grown folk stuff.
That's what the government does. They let people get out in the street and they let them cry themselves to sleep. But yeah, once you go to bed, that's it. Grown folks downstairs doing what they want, and that's the government. So they're going to let you protest. They're going to let you get a little rowdy, but they're not going to let you get completely out of line.
Don't you kids come down here.
Because look, they're going to let you get enough, but the SWAT team, the tanks, they're there for a reason. We had the shooting at UCLA, okay? We had a murder-suicide. Tragic event. You didn't need tanks for that. Why were there tanks? Why were there SWAT teams running around? Why was that happening? Beats me. But that's the world we live in. We live in the world where we have a murder-suicide and we have to go ahead and shut down the city blocks and have armored agents of the state to sweep in with tanks and machine guns and, movements and flank this side. And it's like there's 2 people that are dead now. Mm-hmm. Is somebody is The Walking Dead about to happen? Is somebody about to rise from the dead and you're going to take them out? And I get being cautious. I get being safe. I understand that. I get that. Make sure everything's okay, but that doesn't mean you shut down city blocks and CNN's got a helicopter above you either.
Such a display of power.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. Speaking of a display of power, I'm going to go ahead and show some power in going to break.
We'll
be
segue.
back. That's it. On the second hour of Anti-Media Radio, we'll be back in just a few moments. As always, keep up with us on ucy.tv and theantimedia.org.
to that place. Hey! Oh, Lord, take me back. is left is what we did with our time. So let's raise our glass high in the air, and let's all be proud for another good year. For the faces of faith on the back of his shirt, who died all alone with his face in the dirt. Come on, close my eyes wide. I've seen better days. Close my eyes wide. I've seen better days. Oh, I dream, but never forget. Oh, faces of faith, and the people we met, oh, the strength of ourselves, oh, the hope of mankind, oh, tracing our way, the face in this time. Oh, close my eyes wide. I've seen better days, and oh, close my eyes wide. Take me out of this place.
Welcome back to the second hour of Anti Media Radio. I'm your host, SM Gibson. You were listening at ucy.tv/TAMR, and you can always catch your replays on YouTube by searching for Anti Media Radio. And always catch Nick on Monday and Wednesday night. Is that enough promotion? Shane's joined. The sound director, which he says is not the sound director.
That's not a real title.
No, it's a title. It's been bestowed upon you. And you should be very proud and thankful for that title.
Gonna make this show great again.
And that's it. Make America win again.
Yeah. There is, we were talking during the break, and I figured this would be a wonderful time to bring this up. We actually talked shortly after Prince, the artist, formerly and then again known as Prince, passed away recently. And it's now come to light that it is indeed a opioid-based, FDA-approved based overdose off of the drug fentanyl. If some of our listeners are not aware of what fentanyl is, it is a very, very extremely super powerful pain medication. 50 times stronger than heroin. I happen to know a little bit about fentanyl because that's what was mixed with the heroin that killed my sister-in-law. It's been, about a year and a half ago. Deadly stuff. And FDA approved.
I think, too, when the news came out, I was talking earlier today when it broke. I was like, oh, it finally came out, what happened to Prince. And it was a legal kind of it's not Keith Richards. If Keith Richards fell over dead, everybody go, what took so long? We're talking about a guy that wouldn't let caffeine into his parties, much less drugs or alcohol. That got injured, that got hurt, and got hooked legally by the doctors.
Just like my sister-in-law did. Just like so many other people who have gone down that same path. Started off as normal people, working a regular job, got hurt at a doctor. Doctor didn't really want to deal with it, threw some pain medication their way, and now we'll get to a surgery in about a month or so. And then we go through the surgery, and then there's more pain medication that comes after the surgery for a couple months. And there's still that little bit of lingering pain and the uncomfortable feeling. Most of it's the uncomfortable feeling of withdrawing off of that horrible medication. I mean, just deadly stuff. And they don't like the withdrawals, and the doctor's not really sympathetic about it, so then they start doctor shopping, and then, of course, now we have a computerized network, so you can't doctor shop anymore. Pharmacies are all on alert, so what do? You take to the streets. And now, when you take to the streets, everybody needs to be forewarned that heroin is now cut with fentanyl. And that's what killed my sister-in-law, killed quite a few people in the Jefferson County area, which is where
I've known 30
Birmingham,
people
Alabama.
that I grew up with that got on it. It's sad, and it's not. I think our culture and our society has this very reactive sort of, especially the older generation.
The whole dirty junkie,
yes.
The label that gets tagged with them. Legal, absolutely 100% FDA approved, doctor prescribed, legal. Now the story goes, we don't know if he got it legally or not, but we reported early on that the entertainment site TMZ saw Prince.
That's not very anti-media. But when it comes to something like this,
they were boots on the ground, so we have to at least give them credit.
Give them the
it.
juicy gossip.
Snapping a bunch of pictures of Prince going in and out of a pharmacy I think it was 3 or 4 times in a day, the day before he died. So that in and of itself, to see Prince leave his house with his entourage and go down to Walgreens, which I believe is where it was at. Not to call them out, but
it's you're right about everything you're saying, but I think for me, like, the Prince story is very important. It's very huge, and it's way bigger than just a celebrity dying. It is the story of somebody who gets hooked on something legally. Somebody that was not Keith Richards, somebody that wasn't the strung-out junkie, somebody that had a lot of success, because people forget that it is doctors, it is lawyers.
He was a religious man too.
Very.
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah. Which is a very strict, as far as your moral code and drinking and drugs and this, that, and the other. It's very, very forbidden within their
and
beliefs.
so the people around him say he didn't, but obviously he was doing something because he OD'd. Either way, it's sad. It's a sad story, and think about this, because we live in a society too where we have that happen, where we do have those legal. They want to call marijuana the gateway drug. The real gateway drug, and the gateway drug dealers are the people that go to medical school. And look, that's not to demonize doctors, because sometimes it's, it just is what it is. It's the pharmaceutical companies and the FDA letting this stuff go through. But we live in a situation right now in the United States of America that they tell you that veterans are not allowed. When a veteran has PTSD and is tortured and is in pain, deep down in their soul and their spirit, they're hurting. And the government knows that medical marijuana, it's not going to cure it. It's not going to cure. It's not the great cure-all of the world like some people have you believe, but it's going to help. It is going to help.
There's quite a few medications out there that don't cure a disease or cure an ailment, but rather help. I know there are so many psychoactive medications and psychotropic medications that are just, read the side effects. The side effects are horrible.
That's it.
Plus, there's also a chance if you're taking the wrong type of medication
either way,
you could be suicidal.
Here's the thing. Here's the ultimate on that. The bottom line for me is they tell you that's dangerous. We don't want our vets to be subjected to medical marijuana. Meanwhile, you literally just sent them overseas, and who knows what got sprayed on them. White phosphorus, that's cool. Agent Orange, no big deal. But God forbid we let them have some medical marijuana. But we'll do.
Oh, let's not forget the radiation and dirty ammunition either.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's okay. That's safe. But, Lord knows we can't do this other thing that may give them a little bit of relief for the pain that we caused them, by the way, to begin with. That we sent them over there for no reason. And I think, and look, you can't judge any group of people and a collective. You can, I think, so many people, that's part of our society. I think it's going to get divided so much as people want to just have these labels on these groups. Military, you have a lot of people in the military that are just very gung-ho, like, let's kill some brown people. And there's a lot of people in the military, I think, that are very great people, and they're very sincere, and they were lied to, and they didn't want to be involved in something they were lied to. And I think it's a mixture. It's like with everything. I have a lot of sympathy for the people that were lied to, that didn't want to go over there to kill for no reason. Pat Tillman. I mean, how many times have I said that all the accolades and all the glory that went to liar Chris Kyle, scumbag Chris Kyle, it should have gone to Pat Tillman. That guy was in the NFL, okay? And then he said, I'm going to go serve my country. Because it was a noble cause at the time. We were all scared to death of 9/11. In hindsight, we understand things a little differently, but when you were alive for 9/11, it was scary when it happened. You didn't know what was going to happen to the next week, the next day to the next week, the next hour, when it happened. The world stopped. I hate to sound like an Alan Jackson song, but it really did. I don't know. I feel like I digress and kind of run down a tangent on that, but I'm tired of being lied to about the whole thing. I'm tired of being lied to about everything.
Yeah, which lie do you want me to believe now? I mean, that's kind of where we're at with it. Not just about 9/11, but everything.
Oh, no, 9/11's Yeah, it's part of the puzzle.
But it's
a big one, but it's part of the puzzle.
We're lied to about everything.
Oh yeah,
everything. Even stuff that's mundane, stuff that's not even worth lying about.
And everything's a lie. And here's the thing too. Like I know there's people out there that when you hear the term 9/11 was a lie, their brain, it triggers this. They automatically go, "You're this. You believe this." I don't know what I believe happened. I don't know what I believe happened. I know I haven't seen a plane that's been gone. Those buildings collapsed pretty fast for my eyes, and I didn't see a plane in Pennsylvania. Outside of that, beats me. I don't know. And the government doesn't tell me what I saw with my eyes, so I know they're lying to me.
Well, obviously Iraq had something to do with it because we were over
right.
there. We were over there.
I forgot that. Yeah. Saddam Hussein. But what was it? Saudi Arabia just came out and said, while talking about Iraq, because Saudi Arabia, 100%, something was ran through Saudi Arabia because their fingerprints have been all over this since day one. I've talked about this. We didn't have an episode for a single year that I didn't go off and mention Saudi Arabia. So, yes, they, very integral part, I believe, at least their fingerprints suggest they were involved in 9/11. With that said, they've come out, and now that we're allowed this, the Congress passed, we won't say they're allowed, but Congress passed to sue Saudi Arabia. They said, okay, we're going to tell you what really happened. And what really happened was they have these archives, and 9/11 was considered an archive. And what an archive is it's used to excuse whatever sort of military action, or whatever it is, it doesn't have to be military, that the government wants to carry out. So with 9/11, they brought it up. They said, okay, well, at first it was Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, and then it was Iraq, and then it was ISIS, and now it's us. And then who's it going to be next? And, of course, I get that Saudi Arabia is pointing fingers because their fingerprints are on it, but yeah, there's a lot of legitimacy to what they're saying, and just because they're not involved, like that's the thing. There's a lot of guilty people in this, I'm sure of it. A lot of guilty people. And hey, maybe the United States ran it through Saudi Arabia to make it look that way. Maybe they didn't have anything to do with it, but it appears they did. I don't know. And that's the thing with that. I'm not going to tell you what happened. I have my opinions about what happened. All I can tell you from my perspective is I know I was lied to. And I feel like it's the job of the media, which they don't perform their duty, to tell us the truth. And I feel like that's maybe the job of what independent media is here to do, is to raise these questions. And yeah, they're called conspiracy sites and this crazy stuff, but look, time has proved that the crazy conspiracy sites right. But Time's done that, because now you have Sean Hannity talking about the 28 pages. Well, Anti-Media, Free Thought Project, these kind of pages were talking about that 2 years ago, but they were nuts. And now it's in the mainstream.
All that tinfoil hat talk. Yeah.
So, that's at least what my goal is. I'm not here to tell anybody any answers. I just want to ask the questions and do my best to say, hey, this is the information that I know, that my research can tell you. And, hopefully somebody smarter than me can take it from there.
Yeah, well,
I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers. I wish I did. That'd be great.
I don't think any of us are going to get all the answers. It's not how this works.
But I do know how to recognize when I've been lied to.
Yep. I've been married and divorced twice.
So that kind of is what that is. If you want to call in, I think the phone lines are working now for you, Shannon. Area code 718-717-8296.
If it's not working now, I'm definitely giving out your cell phone number. So
you're not.
Brace yourself.
It's not going to happen. So, okay, I think we got that problem sorted out. So back to what you were talking about with the drug war in your family, and I know that I've gone through, lost people in my life from the same thing. A lot of people I grew up with, people I wasn't exactly close to when they passed, but still talk to sometimes, but closer to when I was younger. But with you, it was your sister-in-law, like your brother lost his wife.
Left 2 children. Yeah.
And she was how old?
She was 29.
Tragic.
Yeah, 28, excuse me. Yeah, 28 years old, left behind a 5-year-old and a 12-year-old. 11-year-old, excuse me.
And she got on it legally.
Yeah, she started off on the pain medication legally, like most people. I think got a prescription from the dentist.
Dentist.
She had a problem with it a long time ago, and had put it down. And recently was experiencing some back pain or something like that, and went to the doctor. And that's all it took was just a simple script, and she's off and running. She was hiding it. Had actually came to some members of the family a week before she passed away and admitted she was having a problem with it. And tried to kind of get with a program, and decided it wasn't for her. And then a few days later, she was dead. She had a day off work, and apparently had decided that she was going. And I was shocked when I first heard about it, because she had really, both of them really had a good situation going. They both worked, had a nice little house in a decent neighborhood. Kids were in a good school. Really, just was not your typical. What you would when you think of a person strung out on drugs, it's not what you think of, and it's just a testament to how powerful that stuff is.
That's what people overlook. Awful. Everybody likes to put this, like they like to make that person a pariah. They like to make them an outcast. We're going to shove them to the outer wall.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is not something that's happening in a back alley or in a dark corner. The drug that killed her is made and manufactured legally in the United States.
Well, look, and there's so many stories about so many families losing people.
Correct, especially just in this area. In this area, it has become a huge epidemic.
And I think with Prince, I think that's why that's such an important thing. Is it's not just a celebrity. It's like, let's have this conversation now. He wrote Purple Rain. If we can't have it over this, and we've lost all these people in our personal lives, like, can Prince not be the Donald Trump of prescription drugs? Can he not be the one that rips the scab off, and we at least have the conversation?
And I understand.
Can we at least have the conversation?
Michael Jackson passed away in a similar fashion. Now, of course, Michael Jackson.
It wasn't a similar fashion because Michael Jackson was getting horse tranquilizers.
It was definitely a similar fashion because it was, again, a FDA approved medication that was administered to him by a doctor.
You're right about that.
So he was hooked on drugs legally.
He was hooked on drugs legally. The only reason I say there's a difference for me,
had somebody to shoot him up and everything legally.
You're right, and ultimately you are right about what you're saying. For me, the only difference is I feel like Michael Jackson had probably developed such a dependency through decades off of whatever mental stuff they've done to him.
I think on Dangerous, what was the one track where something about he was, oh God, he's taking Demerol or something.
Oh
like that.
yeah, I think it was decades of from everything. There's no telling what he went through, from Joe Jackson, his daddy, to Berry Gordy, to everything. So, but Prince wasn't that. Prince was a to the outside world an individual that didn't partake in that kind of activity. Very, upstanding in the eyes of the community. And that's why I think he's a perfect, he should be like, okay, look, it happened to him. If it'll happen to him, it can literally happen to anybody. Anybody. If it can happen to him.
You would think.
And this is why we need to start addressing this, because there are so many parents now that have lost their children. There are parents, or there are children that have lost their parents, brothers, sisters, everything, every loved ones, friends, losing the people around you. And yet we still don't want to have this conversation because there's so much power and money on top, and nobody's going to say, but the doctors know what they're doing. I mean, they go to medical school. I mean, they got to know, right?
Now the doctors are doing what they can right now.
This is no way in shape or form. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to demonize any doctor on any level. That's not what this is about for me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But having said that, with the new current Obamacare that we're forced to have, the way medicine is delivered, the way that medical advice is dispensed is, I'm sorry, man, it's just not like the old days. You don't just go into the doctor and you see the doctor. You may see the nurse for a minute or two, and then you hang out with the doctor, and then the doctor goes and runs a test and comes back, and y'all sit and talk and hang out, and he really goes over all your vitals and all this other stuff. And, it's not like that anymore. You go into the doctor now, and you're going to spend way more time with the nurse and the administrative staff. You may get to see the doctor for, I don't know, probably about 3 minutes to 5 minutes if you're lucky. If it's something serious, you may have to see him a second time for a couple minutes. And then so-and-so will see you on the way out. And that's it. I mean, it's kind of gotten to a point now. I don't know. It's like going to the IRS or something like that to go to the doctor's office.
Well,
it's a very standard procedure.
It's business, and not everybody has that. Like, some people have good doctors, some people have bad doctors. That's just the way.
And I'm not demonizing doctors as a whole. Trust me, but
it just is what it is.
There is more
the bigger
of a doctor
problem.
just grabbing a prescription. Oh, okay, you got such and such. Okay, well, here, let me just write you a script for it and get out of my office.
And I know it does start with the doctor saying, you know what, I'm not going to prescribe this or do this, but it's a tough conversation to have, because I feel like you can't live in this world of saying, well, you don't want government to do this, 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 and this. Okay? So to sit here and say, well, we need government to, I'm not saying we need government to regulate. And this goes back to maybe my own, me asking questions and raising questions. Maybe it's the same questions you have, the same questions you're raising. It just doesn't make sense to me, and why can't we get some answers on some of this?
Like, for instance, why are we still in Afghanistan? And
why is
poppy and heroin production at an all-time high?
Well, it's up 90% production since, I think, 2000, so in the past 15, 16 years.
And, before Oxycontin, I'd never heard of fentanyl.
And that ties right into this.
I'd never heard of fentanyl. And then suddenly Oxycontin, the formula's changed where it's non-injectable. Fentanyl suddenly becomes available on the market, and it's being cut with heroin that is coming out at a very, very rapid rate since now the Taliban's been run out of the Afghanistan capital, and we have much more relaxed laws over there, and troops on the ground guarding poppy fields. But that's all that aside.
I will say I've spoken to people in Afghanistan. They said that they were, for in large part, at least, I know there's troops over there that do that, but not every troop over there is doing that.
No, I'm sure they have their little ant pile over there that they.
Right.
Some guys cooking the eggs, and some guys guarding the camp, and some guys standing there with the
why?
Field.
Like, why? How is anybody over there not being like, can we not go home now? Like, what is this?
No, that's not the Army way, or the Marines, or Air Force, or whoever, or whatever. No, you do as you're told, and you go over there and you serve your little stint for freedom.
We just had
protecting
Memorial
American
Day.
interest abroad.
We just had Memorial Day, and we talk about soldiers dying. It's like, it's horrible. Mm-hmm. Like, families have lost people they love. Mm-hmm. But A, why? And B, like, that may, and like, there's people out there that want to get so, like, defensive. How dare you say that about her? Okay.
You don't support the troops.
Okay, wait.
Get the hell out of here right now.
Okay.
I'll kill you.
Okay, real answer time. Why? Think about it to yourself. Look deep inside and go, why were we over there? And then B, what have we gotten out of it? And I hate to, like, I'm not saying Donald Trump will at least get the oil, screw them. I'm not saying that. What, they'd come home and leave it be. But what have we gotten out of it? What purpose has there been? What has been achieved? What has been accomplished? Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi are gone under different circumstances, but the exact same circumstances.
I didn't know Gaddafi had his head on the chopping block.
Well, he did.
That's what happens when you go to a gold standard.
But it hadn't gone through yet, but it was getting there. But
yeah, it was getting there.
But look at those places. They're in chaos. Mm-hmm. Shambles.
Mm-hmm. That's the American way. That's protecting American interest abroad.
It's protecting. But we're there to give democracy. What are we going to do? Give them a bunch of superdelegates? Is Hillary going to have some leftover superdelegates she can give to the Iraqis?
No.
Like, is that what we're doing?
No, she has nothing.
Like, what in the hell do people think we do?
Hillary has nothing for the Iraqi people but just more pain.
Like, this is a joke. Mm-hmm. It's a joke. We're sitting here saying, we're living in a world, okay? We sit here and we ramble on. There's a huge population, especially here in the South. We're this huge, great Christian country. Let's go kill the brown people. Let's go kill the brown people. I'm scared. The Muslims going to come get us. I'm a Christian. I don't like the Muslims. I hate the Muslims. Hey, here's a question for any Christian. All know. I'm a Christian, admittedly. Very proud to be. I don't remember the word hate the Muslims anywhere in the Bible. It's just maybe I got a different version than everybody else. But I don't remember that part. That's just me. Don't remember seeing it. I don't remember be scared of the Muslims, hate the Muslims. They're coming to get you.
I remember something about thou shalt not kill, but whatever.
I remember love your neighbor. I remember love. I remember there's a lot of talk about love.
Particularly in the ministry of Jesus.
That's it. There's a lot of talk about love, but I don't remember anything about kill Muslims, be scared of Muslims, build a wall, and throw the Mexicans back across the other side.
Yeah, kick them back out of their land.
Scared, fear.
Yeah.
Live in fear, live in constant fear. But as long as you're living in fear, we're there to take care of you. We're there to make you safe. We're going to wrap you up. We're going to give you a giant hug. And while we're hugging you, we're going to reach in your back pocket. We're going to take out that wallet. And we're going to take every penny and everything that you've earned. We're going to take everything that is yours. But we're going to hold you tight and keep you safe.
Well, if anybody still is jazzed about the idea of a wall, go back and take a look at America in about circa 1810, 1820, somewhere in that neighborhood. Holler back at me.
That reminds me of
Some good coffee.
That reminds me of Eddie Griffin, man. Have you ever seen some of his stand up about?
I like Eddie Griffin.
Yeah.
He's funny, dude.
Yeah, he's a bit off the rocker, but God bless him for it.
I am too. So
I know, who isn't? I know. But, yeah, he brings up some good points. He brought up the opium thing long time ago in his stand-up. Long time about being in Afghanistan. I think he's a pretty smart dude.
Go listen to what Dick Gregory has to say about Prince and Michael Jackson passing away.
Yeah, Dick Gregory's very interesting.
That's interesting. I like Dick Gregory. I actually had the distinction of getting to open up for him in that 2000, 2001 at a spoken word festival at our little music festival here in Birmingham.
And you were playing music.
Yeah. That was probably one of the most surreal concerts I've ever been involved in my whole life. Homeless guy came up in the middle of it, and we actually included him as part of the show.
How was Dick Gregory?
Oh, phenomenal. Really smart dude. He's gotten up there in years. He's gotten a little bit more, as we lovingly refer to, a little bit more tinfoil hat than some people.
But yeah. What? That's such a word.
You start seeing a lot of you start seeing a lot of
that.
patterns and signs after a while. When you look at this stuff, it's hard not to. I don't know. Maybe sometimes reach.
Who
too
isn't
far into
tinfoil
something.
hat? By that standard, I'm as tinfoil hat as anybody. I guess. I mean,
I
don't think lizards are
when so many
coming out of Hillary Clinton's eyes.
When some of these conspiracies, quote unquote conspiracies, become facts, and more times than not, that's.
I got genuine
strange.
questions and genuine concerns about genuine things. I'm not talking about lizards or whatever people get into.
Lizard people.
Yeah, that nonsense.
Ted Cruz. Man, I wonder what Ted's doing right now.
I don't know, man, but I tell you, as much as I laugh at that whole reptilian thing, it's really hard to see people like Ted Cruz and Hillary Clinton not go, maybe there's something to it.
Yeah.
They seem pretty snaky to me.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, that's to me, that's another distraction. Everything is a distraction. And people, they can even, I think, allow activism to become a distraction from living their own life. I don't think people need to forget to live their life. Facebook, man, let me tell you. If I didn't have to get
feels on Facebook,
if I didn't have to do it for what I do on a day-to-day basis, working with anti-media and helping to deliver information to a large number of people, and being lucky enough to do that, I wouldn't be on Facebook because I hate it. But it is a great tool to reach out to people. And I've met some wonderful people and do some wonderful things because of it. But there is a very predominant feeling of being dumbed down sometimes. Investing all of your energy into social media.
Mm-hmm.
And we all do it.
And you want me to get a Twitter. Screw you.
I still say that.
Nah,
I still think
doing
that's a good thing.
Not doing it.
If you look, it doesn't mean don't live your life on it. Look, there's a difference between living with everything. You can go too far with anything. There's a difference between the guy that goes and has a beer, 3 beers, 2 beers on the weekend, and the person that's passed out in the ditch 5 days a week, hungover. So, Twitter, being on that, and then living your life on it. It's two different things.
Alcohol, that's legal too, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
You must be over the age of 21.
How'd that work out for them when it wasn't legal, when they did the prohibition? How'd that crime didn't go up or anything, did it?
I had some family make some money, good bit of money, in and around that period of time.
And of course, with more laws do promote more crime because that's just literally common sense. But organized crime is what flourished. People got their organizational skills together for the crime because of the you can't have alcohol. And they're the same with marijuana. People don't live in that reality. Don't ask me why. They can't live in the reality of the drug war making things worse, or the laws making things worse.
When you talk about marijuana, unless you're talking about a state that's finally wised up and legalized it, and is now starting to see their prisons actually are not overcrowded anymore.
And it's a human rights thing. Screw the whole drug part of it. Screw the health, whatever your conversation is on that. I don't care if you think it's the worst thing in the world. It's fine. To send some kid to jail for 10 years for it, that's outrageous.
Mm-hmm. For a plant that used to grow
never
wild
do
on
it.
the side of the
Let
road.
it be evil, and that's fine. But to send somebody to jail like that long and lose their life, a huge chunk of their life.
Well, no, their whole life. Let's be honest, because then they get out of jail, they can't get a job because they have a felony. They bounce around and finally, either get back into selling harder drugs or get back in. You know what I'm saying? It winds up the whole prison system, the prison complex, especially what it does for. We're not just talking about pot smokers. We're talking about, let's say let's say the guy that gets busted with the guy gets busted with a vial of rocks. You look at the a vial of rocks, crack cocaine.
I understand.
Crack is whack.
I didn't hear the vial part, and I just heard of rocks.
Anyway.
A pile of rocks is what I heard.
Well, okay, a pile of rocks. Vial of rocks, a bag of rocks, whatever. Rocks. What's crack? Gets busted for a pile of crack rocks made from cocaine that was smuggled, in quotation marks, across the border. Was allowed to pass, or was pretty much on a shipment route here. Cooks it up, lives in a horrible socioeconomic situation. The free check and the free housing and so on and so forth. That actually comes with a penalty. You know that, right?
Lies.
When you go get on welfare, you can't get a job, because you get a job, then they take you off welfare.
That's not true. It's not true. That's not what my government official told me.
Yeah, but if you talk to somebody that actually gets on welfare,
my elected official told me otherwise.
Yeah, you get with somebody on welfare and they actually go get a job making any money, any showable income. That's it. Welfare's gone.
He was on TV though.
Yeah, said it on they're on in the newspaper somewhere.
He has a degree.
Mm-hmm. A degree. An astute gentleman.
Lots of people have said this guy should do this job, so I'm sure he's qualified.
A learned scholar.
Mm-hmm. Sure he's qualified. He's got to know what he's doing. Just let him decide everything. Yeah. What do I know?
Yeah.
Sure he's keeping up with it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's where we're at.
It is where we're at. I tell you what, you know who I would love to bring on this show, and I'm gonna at least try to make this happen, is Congressman Thomas Massey. He may turn it down, but I really would love to have an on-air conversation with him and at least discuss the 28 pages that he's brought up in the story, with him bringing up the lobbyists coming after him and trying to put him on the committee, and him just turning around and putting it on Facebook like, this guy just tried to buy me.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. Like, when have you ever heard of a politician doing that?
I think they should all be required to do that.
Of course they should be required to do that, but they don't.
We need to know exactly how our votes are being influenced. But the thing is that, we don't. Any bill that gets passed, now this has been very well documented. the elected officials that go and sign off on these bills or the vote yay or nay, all they see is a cursory glance as far as, a summary, what the bill is. They don't read the
They don't read it.
And hundreds of pages and things that are buried in between and subsections that are buried in between all the pork.
Bringing back up again, that's another thing I've heard come out of Thomas Massey's mouth is that there should be a law that requires people of Congress to read the bills they vote on.
Yeah.
And I don't see a problem with that.
I don't either. And maybe all the language in those big, giant, huge bills would suddenly shrink. And let's get to the point. And also, I think that every copy of every American should, or voting American, should have a copy or access to a copy of those bills as they're being voted on. And I'm talking about the whole complete copy with every single bit of pork in it.
Yeah, you don't get that.
No, you don't get that.
No, you don't get that. Not on the big ones.
You get the amended, shrunk down version, the same one that the congressman gets, except the congressman to make sure.
He gets the special secret version.
Whatever pork he put in there, he makes sure that it's in there. He'll flip over to page, 394. Okay, it's still in there. Good. Let's vote on this sucker.
Mm-hmm.
I got this guy.
Well, that's the way it works.
Need to hurry up and get out of here. I got a tea time this afternoon.
Golf is important. What do you want? Look, what do you think these guys are serving you? They're keeping you safe. Let them play some golf like 23 hours a day. Hookers and golf. That's what you elect them for. Let them get a reward. They're keeping you safe.
Hookers, golf, free retirement, and very good retirement.
Yeah.
What is that like? What is president?
And then they get paid on top of it.
$500,000 a year now for the rest of their life.
Why not? And think about the stocks, like the tips they get. There are a lot of benefits.
Yeah, they get tips.
To go into. So apply at your local, wherever. Go register to become something. And let the power go to your head. And just scream and be like, I'm in charge now. Don't even lie about it. Just tell everybody, I'm getting some robots. And you're all going to be enslaved by them. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go run for like city council and promote like robot slavery. Why not? We're all going to be enslaved by robots.
You can't do that in Birmingham. The word slavery is still kind of touchy here.
Yeah.
You can only bring that up if, you're a person of color. That works.
Understandably, but I don't care. It's going to be a non-PC issue. It is straight up robot slavery.
Just package it different. That's all I ask. Just package it different.
Sadly, as ridiculous as the conversation is we're literally having a more ridiculous conversation on a national scale and a national level right now with our real presidential election.
We're back on that again.
Well,
God.
Why not?
We got 15 minutes left. Why can't we talk about football or something? Think Ole Miss is going to get the...
we can talk about how these politicians bomb people. You want to do that? Or we can talk about how the big pharma companies... Hey, what did we talk about on last episode that was a big topic of conversation about Seattle's gone? That's just going to go...
I was going to bring that up. The last time I checked, Seattle is still alive and kicking.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good.
Go Seahawks.
Good.
Yeah.
Good job, Macklemore. You stay with it.
Good job, Seattle, man. That's
should have a
the people of Seattle came together and said no, they said no. They protested that earthwake back over to Japan or something.
Hashtag, are you still there, Seattle?
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's so bad. But I mean, I would be devastated. Like devastated. Like that's nothing to joke about.
Yeah, what if there's like an earthquake going on there right now?
Oh my God.
I'd feel horrible.
The worst.
You're an asshole.
Oh, I am. I would feel horrendous. I would want to hide under a rock completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would. Yeah.
Can we talk about anything good on this show?
No. What is there? Bring up a topic of delight, something that brings you joy. What galvanizes you to just say yes? A smile has crossed my face today.
Well, yeah, because I've been on Facebook a little bit today, and I can't really think of anything.
See? That's it. It brainwashes you. You can't be stuck in the whole Facebook thing all the time. People do it.
I'm still not getting it. Twitter.
People right now are listening to us via an online device. And I do think that there is a time and a place to get your information and to be entertained even. Just don't live your life.
So what's the time limit then? What's the cutoff?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's just have rules. I've already said, like, I've never lied. Like, if I was ever to be put in charge, like, totally, it would be robot slavery. I've never, like, I would just become a dictator.
Rules for the internet, definitely.
It wouldn't be like, I wouldn't enslave anybody. Well, other than the robots. So they would enslave everyone.
Within the top 3, if we're going to do the rules for social media, it's somewhere 1, 2, or 3, you have to put never read the comment section. Claire, that's actually for you, Claire.
Oh, I don't care what people do.
Because Claire,
Why do I
Claire
care?
literally will, like,
let them read it.
Twice a week at least, she'll say
cares?
something about looking at the comment section. She knows better than that.
People love reading the comments. They love getting involved. They love feeling self-important because that's what the comment sections are. They're big
feels.
They're a big pat on the back.
Feels and Jimmy rustling.
You got the audience. You got the people that troll it that just scroll through.
Austin Peterson.
Sometimes you can run for president. Austin Peterson would be the comment section president, wouldn't
he? Yeah. He can't be president of the United States, but he can definitely be president of the comment section. We'll give him that.
He is.
Austin Peterson, you have our endorsement. The anti-media has now officially endorsed you as president.
None of that's true.
As president of the comment section.
None of that's true. Nobody's endorsing anybody for any of that.
Especially not.
Even though that's not a real thing. And that is ridiculous to even rebut that you said that. I'm still doing it. I'm still going to retract that endorsement. As stupid and ridiculous as it was, I'm still taking it back.
Oh, man. No, we're endorsing John McAfee on the show. I think really, I mean, you know, if it actually came down to
who, what?
If somebody
I like John McAfee, but I didn't endorse nobody.
I just endorsed John McAfee.
Well, good. Yeah. I like John McAfee.
I don't know.
I
think collectively this show could get bad. I think that's the only candidate we've actually been able to get by. Because the whole thing's a farce, anyways. There's no way that they would actually let him become president.
Right. It's just kind of.
But man, he would be.
Pull for your favorite wrestler.
You think Putin's cool, man?
Oh yeah.
McAfee's got streets.
Yeah, they're both kind of James Bond characters.
Now, well, Putin's that's apples and oranges. Putin is completely you're James Bond supervillain.
Right.
McAfee, no man. McAfee's like I don't know who would play McAfee.
The Heineken guy.
No. I'm talking about what actor could successfully play
Sam Elliott.
McAfee. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Sam Elliott would be good. Probably a slightly younger Sam Elliott, even though they're probably roughly around the same age.
I don't know what this has to do with anti-media because we're now discussing
It doesn't
Sam
matter.
Elliott.
And look, it was
Sam Elliott playing John McAfee.
That would be
in
awesome.
a movie.
I would I would head to that in a heartbeat. And you know, you would too. Think of the cameos in that movie.
We have literally broken down. Look, there's like sweeping revolution in France right now. Like people are getting worked up around the world.
People are starving in Venezuela right now.
Yeah. What
Socialism.
do? Do you sit there and you beat it to death? Do you beat the negativity to death?
I mean, people need to know. You know, I mean, it's not just about cable TV and, you know, your nice little air-conditioned SUV.
Did you hear about the story in Afghanistan where another deal of civilians got killed, the special ops, and supposedly, according to eyewitnesses, there was there were 2 pregnant women that got killed. That's a fact, and they were innocent civilians. That's a fact. What the supposed part is the U.S. military dug the bullets out of one of the pregnant women to cover up what they had done.
What?
Yeah. It was actually first reported in The Intercept.
Well, and for anybody that would instantly poo-poo that the United States military would do such an idea, this is the same United States military that was raping boys in front of their mothers at Guantanamo Bay.
But people think that's outrageous. You have to remember that the mentality is out there. The propaganda.
Excuse me, not Guantanamo Bay.
It wasn't Guantanamo.
No. Sorry, it's late. I'm on 3 cups of coffee.
That's okay. But the point being, yeah, it is late.
We don't have Kevin here either. Kevin, he would have just snapped his finger. Oh no. Let me just.
I am tired now.
Yeah, I am too, man.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
I'm
Let's do
exhausted, dude. Oh man.
I tell you what, instead of being exhausted, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go the last 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and break down everything that you need to know about the presidential election. And this is it.
You.
Do not trust any of them. The end.
Yeah, that'll work.
Is that good? Is that succinct enough for you?
Yeah.
Is that we can go ahead and sum up that they're all a bunch of liars? Hashtag, are you still there, Seattle? Hashtag, that's still not funny.
You're a horrible person. I think
it's not funny.
I don't think we need to finish this episode before I announce on air that you are a horrible person. You are.
I think by my own words would have to probably.
Yes, and those words you just uttered made you even more horrible person.
I understand. It's a bad joke that's not funny, and
okay.
I
appreciate that.
It is what it is.
I was this close to retreating.
Nobody's hurt. Nobody got hurt over it. Listen, that's it.
Close
Nothing changed in the world.
to retreating to my safe space.
It may have hurt some people's. It may have been insensitive, but nothing changed. No one was hurt for it. No one was hurt for it. So it's okay. You can say any outrageous thing.
Well, you've obviously never had your Jimmy rustled.
Oh, who hasn't?
Because it hurts. It hurts.
When your feelings get hurt?
Yeah.
When you go into your safe space?
Kiss it. It's sore. Kiss it.
What's wrong with people that launch into a safe space about it? Why?
Well,
what is a safe space?
D.
All right, then. I'm not going to endorse that at all.
Oh.
But sincerely, what is a safe space? What is it? How does it exist?
Bedroom with Interpol.
I would have said more. I would have gone with Morrissey.
Yeah.
Not Interpol.
Or The Cure. Yeah, you can do Interpol, man.
Interpol's too cool.
Anyway. Well, and Morrissey's not.
Yeah, but it's 80s.
We hate it when...
Yeah, but it's the 80s. He's been around a lot longer.
Become successful.
These people had older siblings that taught them well, I guess. Either way.
Have you ever worn just a sweater?
I don't.
No underwear, no socks, no shirt on underneath.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
That's it. You're fired. I haven't fired anybody in a long time.
I've been waiting for this. I'm ready to go home. Bye.
I haven't fired anybody on this program in a long time. But we sit here and we joke, and it's there's so many different things that going around us in the world, and you hear this complete barrage. It's just this negative, just assault on every. People don't want to live in that. Why would you want to live in that negativity? And you shouldn't. Don't allow yourself to be consumed by the fear, but don't be afraid to have the knowledge either. And then make those decisions based off your knowledge. Don't make your decisions based on fear. Don't listen to the news, read the stories on anti-media or CNN or whatever it is you want to read. Breitbart, whoever. Don't let any of those stories consume you to the point where it allows you to make decisions based on fear. I guess unless you're going to go line up and vote, because there's a lot of fear in there.
Yeah.
Not that matters, but
a lot of fear and a lot of feels.
A lot of feels.
Woo! Have fun with that, y'all.
But, you know, we do get in this cycle. We get in this pattern. We cannot forget to live our life, to walk outside, to hang out with our loved ones, to get outside of the concept of our phones. I mean, I'm guilty of it as much as anybody else. I'm doing better. I'm doing a lot better. But it's with me and work, and you're just working. And
Because your power went out today. That's why.
Oh, yeah, it's rough. Yeah.
Talk about feels. I bet you had a few then.
It was fine. No complaints.
Now, I know who you are. If you're not, don't have the computer in front of you. It's
I'm working a lot. I work a lot.
You do.
I work a lot.
You're a workaholic. I think Nick would be pleased to know exactly how much you work.
Yes.
I've seen you do it a lot.
Well, that's what they say, but
Now give me my $20.
oh yeah. Well played. I tell you what,
Shannon gets a point.
we've got a couple more minutes here on the show.
Oh, well, I thought the show ended like 15 minutes ago.
No,
I thought we were just sitting here talking.
no.
Well, we were sitting here talking. We just happened to have the mic still on.
Well, it's true, but you know, for me, it goes into the whole consumption of fear. Don't do it. I'm going to go ahead. Okay, I'm not going to go there right now. I'll wait. I'm going to wait till.
You know, you can't wait too much longer.
No, I'm going to wait till next episode. It's going to be great. I promise. I'm going to wait.
It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful.
It is. It's going to be great. Like, for real. Okay.
Everybody knows how great it's going to be. I mean, you know, I'm known for greatness and making deals.
No, it is. It is going to be like there's going to be something really cool.
There damn well better be.
It is. It's going to be great. So if you want to...
You're getting Chris Jericho on the show?
Be a part of the greatness for the next episode. Trust me and listen to it.
Sneaky. I like it.
Yeah.
So we have to tune in to
You
find out.
have to tune in.
I think that's a good idea.
Because I promise you, greatness will happen.
Yeah, because Kevin's coming back.
But if what do you want? I'll make sure it happens. I'll take care of it.
I want Kevin to come back.
I'll make sure that happens. It's going to be great. The next episode is going to be the greatest episode that we've ever had. It's going to be great again. We've had a few good episodes. It's going to be like that again.
Berman Spring.
Except better.
John McAfee.
Right. When the other people were on the show talking that weren't us, that's when the show was good.
We've had 2 libertarian candidates on the show yet. And still no word
Berman
from Trump's
Supreme.
camp.
Yeah, I did. You know, I really did reach out to them twice. I say multiple, like I just sat there and did it every day. But
They're not falling for that one.
I did. I sent 2 emails.
They know about the candy in the van. There's no candy in that van.
No, they did not respond. Unfortunately, we have not been able to get Donald Trump on the show yet.
I bet we could get Marco Rubio now. He's not doing anything.
I thought that. I was like, what's
he's
this
just hanging
guy
out of the
doing?
house in his shorts.
I'll tell him I'll send him some like techno MP3s or something. Get him like a code for some like free dance hits on iTunes.
Hit him up on Grindr. Yeah. Yeah, I said it.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
I don't know who's not living in that reality because that's a true statement.
His wife.
Oh, she knows.
Yes, I know.
She knows.
It's the love that dare not speak its name. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Lindsey Graham. At least Lindsey's pretty open about his. God bless. Like, that's the thing. Why can't people just. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I really believe
it's 2016.
I really believe like nobody could like. But it's this whole stigma people have. But I tell you what, forget the stigma, forget the fear, forget every lie that's been told from every politician. Sue love, sue.
I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the stereo.